Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. Will the 2021 Morgan dollars start to ship on June the 13th? Let's explore! For those of us who tried to order these coins and were actually able to get them into our carts, you may have seen a little message, a little red message that said orders to start shipping on June 13th. And now I didn't screenshot that image. I was so frustrated trying to get these things through that I just kind of glanced over at it. So I don't remember the exact wording on it. But let's take a pause for a moment and talk a little bit about the events of the day for those of us who tried to order these. I was thinking that maybe perhaps it would be a little bit easier since they had lowered the limits for each of these down to 10 each, a household order limit of 10. And I figured, you know what? Here's this message here. Please note if you're calling into our contact center to place an order, you must press 1 to be prompted to be connected with a team member. That little red message there made me think, well, hey, they've got the phone lines open too for these instead of just being a web only, which means that perhaps, there's not going to be quite this mad dash or rush for these things. But it was not the case. There was a crazy mad rush for these, and the website performed horribly as usual, as is the case. And I see that there are several people that have posted videos about this. I've not watched those yet. I'm just getting to a point where I can do this video when it's not able to screen capture my cart when I saw this. But the only thing missing from the frustration was the captchas, where you had to match up the planes, the bicycles, or the boats. I'm glad that wasn't there. It did have other security enhancements that would verify your browser, and that's fine. Most of us got in early, had several tabs open, went to add these things in, and we get through the process where we enter our credit card information. I know I tried several times. It's always good to do that manually than to get the saved information, because I believe that's on a different server. And so there's that communication that has to occur as well too. But nonetheless, a very frustrating process, and got through the checkout and found that the CC privy marks were not available. So I had to remove those from the cart and was able to get the O privy mark. And then I was like, okay, well, this is great. I was able to get that at least, but was frustrated because I kind of wanted to collect all of these, have an example of all of these for the first year. Probably won't be doing it every year if they do come out with these on an annual basis. But nonetheless, the U.S. Mint, they're going to, if they do them in subsequent years, there's talk that there may be varying finishes, a reverse proof, a enhanced uncirculated versions of these in the upcoming years. We'll see to get the hype going. But nonetheless, with 175,000 in a product limit, that does not mean that there's a mintage limit of this month. They could come out with a whole complete set of these, and you buy a whole set. And they can keep the mintage going for however long they want to do it. But nonetheless, it was a mad dash today for these, and the website was crashing. You kept getting these messages that about the Cloudfire or what have you, which was a familiar message we got before, and you had to re-enter your information. And then when you did get to place the order after the final review process, it would say order processing, do not hit the back button or refresh this page. So you're stuck there, and then it would just crap out. It would just and to me, there ought to be a way to be able to prevent that from happening once your order is placed, so that you can be confident that your order went through. Because after waiting for a while, I went ahead and checked the order status to see if maybe it did go through, and then you go to check your order status, and that portion of the website is shut down temporarily. So you don't know until you get a confirmation email. I finally got the confirmation email that said that they would receive the order, but it was not there. But while those coins were in the cart, it said to start shipping on June the 13th. I don't know if anybody else saw that, but those who were ordering these, that was a little bit encouraging that maybe these things will start shipping out before October. But I don't know. Here it says product shipments will begin in October, but on that page it was saying that they were, when you add them to the cart, that they would be starting to ship out on June 13th. Very interesting indeed. But again, most of them went unavailable for sale at around, I guess, 12:30 Eastern time, somewhere thereabouts. So both versions of these became unavailable. Now, does that mean that they are sold out? No, it does not mean that. It just means that they're not available for sale. And perhaps that was when they started to throttle these orders, when they realized that the website was getting bogged down. And it was bogged down for nearly half an hour. So there were obviously many of us struggling to try to get our orders in. And it was not only until later that I got an email saying that I got confirmed that I was able to get both of these, the CC and the O. So I was kind of surprised because I was no confirmation, no order number. There's no way to check it, but the email came confirming that. So that was very strange, very weird, and frustrating. And so we have a lot to look forward to. The same thing's going to be happening again on the next release, which is on the 7th for the other versions of these Morgan dollars. It's frustrating, and for those of us who just kind of want to have examples to collect, it's a little bit, it's even all the more frustrating indeed. But nonetheless, there it is. I tell you what, times like these, when the Mint knows how much demand there's going to be on the server for these, it blows my mind that they don't think of another strategy. They are thinking that giving 10% of these to other dealers is going to help alleviate. Well, this is a perfect example, once they put that policy in place, that that's not going to happen. But the big news is from this, because really, think about it, this whole situation with these coins being on order and the struggle we have at the website is not any kind of breaking news. It's par for the course with the U.S. Mint. They have experienced this kind of issue for well over a decade and more. And they've never learned their lesson to increase their servers or to provide some policies or ways to be able to throttle this out, especially just for the collectors who want to be able to accumulate these coins. Now, understanding too that obviously a lower mintage product is going to be great demand, and there's no way around that to a degree, which means I can understand if it sells out very quickly, or if they throttle it to every other half-hour period for 10 minutes or so. It becomes available and then goes off or what have you. And what they've been doing lately is stopping sales and then restarting them again for a very brief period of time, and then doing that. But usually it's in the morning. Silver Wolverine has pointed out for some of these other releases, it'll be in the early morning and a set time for just a brief moment of time and then go off. I kind of think that they ought to really kind of more publicize that or do it in more regular increments. But nonetheless, the news is this ship date, potentially of June 13th, that they may get some of these out by that time. So it'll be fascinating as we head in from the privy marked Morgan dollars to the regular mint mark, the PNDs, that are going to become available next. It'll be very interesting to see how this, or the SNDs, the San Francisco and Denver minted are what is left on this list here that will be coming up here. So let's actually take a look at this and see what the schedule is like. And again, I've not been posting too many of these. Actually, June 1st. It's June 1st, where the Denver and San Francisco minted Morgan dollars will be coming into play. And if we look at the listing of those will be shipping in October as well. but they're saying that has not changed. And in fact, the description for the other ones still say that. And then on June 7th will be the final release, will be the Morgan dollar, Philadelphia minted, which has no mint mark, and the Peace dollar, and that one has a little higher product availability of 200,000. So very interesting indeed. It'll be interesting to see if they lower these product limits, these household limits, further down. That'll be interesting to see if they do that with the great demand. I think in a way they ought to lower it to 5. I think that would be a good response, at least somewhat of a response. You know, when they lowered it from 25 down to 10, I thought that was a good move on the mint's part. But you can see there was still great demand, and they've gone unavailable. It'll be very interesting to see what the sales are for the first week of the sales of the week of these, to see how much actually sold in that mad dash at 12 o'clock Eastern time, for sure. And so we'll see how that plays out. But nonetheless, there it is. That's the news. Did anybody else see that when they tried to order the Morgan dollars here from the United States Mint? Fascinating indeed. A multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.